We are back on Get Up, and to get to the Cowboys, and a quote from Jerry Jones that is getting a lot of response, not only from fans, but also from his quarterback. Earlier this week, Jerry Jones admitted that he has been very busy with his natural gas business and his interests there, too busy to spend time trying to fix his team's sputtering defense. This is an interview he did with the Wall Street Journal. He said, there's $100 billion in present value with natural gas out there. That's why I'm talking to you on the telephone rather than trying to fix our defense with the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott was asked about that yesterday. The flight was long, but we felt important that we played the entire thing for you so you had the full context, so it cannot in any way seem as though, and we would never have wanted to take anything he said out of context. I wanted Mike Tannenbaum, our general manager, in this conversation because now, he's talking about 5 minutes. I don't know much about making $100 billion, but I have a feeling you don't do that in 5 minutes. So, Jerry Jones, if this was Woody Johnson or Robert Kraft or any of the other owners in the NFL, you'd say, oh, great, go make your $100 billion. But Jerry Jones is also the general manager of that team. So, can you describe to us, the trade deadline is next Tuesday. What is this week like for Howie Roseman? What is this week like for Daryl Muji? What is this week like for the guys who do that job?
Green, for every trade you make, you're probably making 20, 30, 40 phone calls in terms of seeing what else is out there, what's available, what do you have, surplus and needs. Like, you are scouring because after Tuesday at 4 o'clock, that is your last best chance to help your team for this season. Of course, there's free agents and practice squad guys, but it's really your last meaningful chance. And to be candid, a lot of GMs are seeing that footage and they're saying, I'm glad I'm competing against Jerry Jones because this is 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And yeah, I'd love to make $100 billion as well, but we want to compete against people that are not all in it. I'm not saying he's not all in financially, but your heart and soul has to be in it every single day.
That's the point I would make. And I'd be curious to hear from the players here because, yes, he's a businessman. He should do business. We all saw Landman. That's awesome. I'm delighted for him that he found this opportunity, made all of this money. But the point is that if you're going to be the general manager of a football team, that has to take up your every breath, your every waking thought, every ounce of energy, all of your blood and your sweat and your tears, all the time. It is a full-time job. And whether he was just trying to be cheeky or not, that is a terrible thing, in my opinion, for him to say to the fans of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, from a former player's perspective, you expect your general manager and your owner to be all in every capacity.
Right.
And your job as a general manager is to exhaust every possibility to make your football team better. So I don't know why Jerry thought it was a great idea to just state that out loud. Like, if you do feel that way, you can keep it to yourself. You don't have to tell it to everyone. Maybe Jerry knows we're going to talk about it.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I get it.
Know why.
2025, look at Instagram, look anywhere. Capitalism. Who's got the most money? Who's got the most crap? Who's got the most stuff? I'm going to show you everything that I got. This is Jerry being Jerry, and a lot of people are going to celebrate this and say, oh, $100 billion, that's awesome. To your point, Howie Roseman's on a bye week right now, should be somewhere in Puerto Rico or Mexico. He's dealing for Michael Carter and a 7th-round pick and John Mechie. He doesn't sleep. This is what he's thinking about.
Right.
Jerry right now is saying what everyone wants to hear because money is everything. But the truth is, if you're a Cowboys fan, you're like, can't we talk about getting a backup tackle or a defensive lineman?
It's not just one position on defense. It's the defensive line.
Right.
It's the linebacker area. It's the secondary. You need players at all three levels. So you should be making calls.
But I'd say a lot of people are looking at me like Jerry's a baller.
Right,
he makes $100 billion.
But probably not the guys in his locker room.
Maybe.
Right?
I don't even know.
Look at the juxtaposition of Brian Schottenheimer this week. You can take our offensive stats and you can shove them you know where. And Jerry Jones, I just made $100 billion. I mean, those are the two big quotes from the two people, the most important people running the Dallas Cowboys.
They have a new practice facility coming. That's good for everybody.
Push it back to the team.
But, I mean, Jerry Jones is showing you how the sausage is made, right, so to speak. Like, usually people don't show you that, pause, right? Usually people don't show you that and talk about the details of the business side of how you operate and support your team. But that doesn't mean that he hasn't been on the phones even before this week was done, about how do I trade for Trey Henderson? How do I get this player? How do I acquire that player? And it's footprints, right? And sometimes I'm sure you had assistant general managers that came out and helped you alongside to make some decisions while you went and took a phone call somewhere else.
Yeah, but Bart, hold on a second. I go back to what Harry said, and we had a sign that said, every rock, every day. We were going to be systematically more relentless than anybody else. And everything changes every week. Like, it's reported that Andy Dalton broke a thumb. So now, like, does Carolina maybe need a quarterback? Like, every single day there could be an opportunity either to make your team better or maybe it's a draft choice to trade somebody. So, again, when every GM see that quote, I am telling you, they're saying, I'm glad I'm competing against Dallas.
And not only that, Bart, you're probably right. Obviously, we can do 10 things at one time. I get that part of it. But don't say that in an interview. It's not funny.
That was my point. Why are you saying this out loud?
Because it's Jerry, guys.
It's like what DMX said. When somebody showed you who they are, believe it.
Yeah.
Jerry has always showed us exactly. It's about the dollar bill, y'all. He has the most valuable franchise in North America, right? He does that because he's all about showing you what I got. He showed you about his yacht. That's how you get the attention, man. It's all good.
And those owners, there's 31 of them, and they all are into their crap and their money, and who's got the biggest yacht. You think it's sick and gross. It is what it is. These guys have a lot of money. And he's just saying in an interview with the Wall Street Journal, I understand your point, though, and I'm validating it. I think there are 31 other GMs who are hammering the phones right now, and maybe Jerry's not.
But he's been around long enough. Don't think you can just pull one over the old guy. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what he don't know.
I'm not sure he knows what he doesn't know. I mean, they haven't won a damn thing in 30 years.
That's my point exactly. Like,
he's made a lot of money. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I want to make it clear. I'm not offended by him making the money. I'm offended by him being the general manager of the football team and spending his time on making the money.
And a guy like Trey Hendrickson, he may or may not be available, but God forbid that, they're talking to Buffalo, right? And they go back to Dallas one more time. Dallas doesn't pick up the phone, and Cincinnati makes the deal.
I'm just picturing this. What's this, Brandon Bean? No, I don't have time for this. Brandon, I'm going to have to call you back. How's next Wednesday?
Natural gas!
I'm busy until then.
Call Steven.
We got a lot of money. So, Harry.
I just got some kind of crazy, devastating news, and it has just destroyed me to the point where I'm just done. Before I get to it, I got to take care of my buddies at Sleeper.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are. Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using code JOBO. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope you all are having a great day. I'm about to go on a little bit of a tangent here from my normal stuff, because at some point you got to just say, what the F? Today's Halloween. Happy Halloween to everybody. Shout out to Holly Pierce and Lady Libra and all of you great fans. Derek Young, Marcus Blackman, Alan Williams, Jimbo, Chris May, Derek Young, Philly D, everybody who's come in, and I'll get back to this, but this is just wrong. This is just freaking wrong. I grew up where we had 3 channels on TV, okay? 3 channels on TV. I just heard or saw a tweet that YouTube TV and Disney have not reached an agreement to have ESPN and Disney content on YouTube TV. And I want you to understand, this is just everything that's going on for people like you and me is so effed the hell up. So here's a tweet. Here it is. Businesses are doing business and holding us hostage for more and more money. Okay? Understand, this is ridiculous. Okay? I got YouTube TV because, they said streaming is going to be less expensive than cable. This is the new way to go. So you get YouTube TV and they tell you it's going to be $70 a month. And the shit turns into, $80 some a month. Right now I think I pay $109 a month for YouTube TV. Okay, I'm okay with that. I get the Sunday package. Even though somebody who's never had Sunday ticket, they get it for like $249. Even though I've been a repeat customer for years, I got to spend like $350. So the people who've been loyal to you, you screw over. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I get that, okay? You're trying to attract new people. Okay. So now you see this. We know how disruptive it is to lose channels you enjoy, and we're committed to continuing to work with Disney to reach an agreement if their content is unavailable for an extended period of time. We'll offer our members $20 credit for updates. Visit blah, blah, blah. So wait a minute. I go through and buy Sunday ticket that's $350 a month, paying more for my shit because I'm dumb enough to have it, more than a year. Basically, so I don't miss any Cowboy games. And now you can't agree with Disney on a price, so you're going to pull all that content off, knowing that the Dallas Cowboys play Monday Night Football.
That's $35.
And then they have a bye week, and then they play Monday Night Football. There's a point where this gets to be ridiculous, and it's not just the cost of watching freaking football. Because if you end up having, Sunday ticket, that's $350 if you're like me and you have it every year. It's now having to have, Paramount and Peacock and Amazon Prime, okay? And now you're going to have to turn around and get ESPN, which is how much, Mike?
If you want the $29.99.
So I can see the game.
If you pay for
so I can go ahead and see the Cowboys on Monday night.
If you get it, but you have to get it for a whole year, which is the same price as Sunday ticket.
Wait a minute. So I have to. So in order for us to watch Monday Night Football,
if you want at the $29.99 price, you have to pay for a full year. But
so I got wait. So let me make sure I get this straight. So I just want to watch the Cow. I don't care. Here's what's fucked up, people. But I don't even watch regular TV. I only basically now my wife, she ends up watching Netflix and all of the Hulus and all that stuff. But I hardly even watch YouTube TV except for the Sunday ticket. So now you're telling me that I have to buy ESPN's app.
Now, if you want it per month, it's $35.99.
So if I just want it for 1 month, if I just want to watch the Cowboy game,
I think Washington plays on Monday night.
If I want, so I got to spend $35 and get an app, and then remember to get rid of it after they make a deal. Is that what I'm? Or I can get it at $29 a month.
But you have to pay for a full year, which is the same price as.
So $360 for a year of freaking ESPN and their bullshit. This is so wrong in so many levels. Disney
want to make sure they get their money too.
I started doing something a little different for shorts, okay? Because they always say you need to do shorts and stuff. And I started doing some ones because as I've gone through the store and buying stuff that you normally buy. You guys know I drink coffee. Okay, I get my morning cup of coffee. Okay, I get my keto creamer, even though I'm not on keto. I just love my keto, instant creamer stuff along with heavy cream. Okay. And then I, put a little whipped cream on top of it, and I'll put some cinnamon on it. And so that's like my Starbucks coffee. That's my treat. And it used to be I could go to BJ's, buy a big tub of coffee, and it was $9. And every, other month they'd have like a $2 off coupon. I go to freaking Walmart and it's $21.97. $21.97 for something that literally a few months ago cost me $9. I go back because I'm cooking dinner and everything else. And my wife said, hey, while you're at the store, I need some tin foil. Have you bought tin foil lately? A thing of tin foil. And here's what's diabolical about this shit. I'm at the point where I just can't take it anymore. Okay? I'm looking at tin foil, and it's like $9 and more a roll. I'm like, what the hell happened to freaking tin foil? How is a box of tin foil over $10? And this is where it really fucking pissed me off. Okay, so I'm looking on the shelf up here. It says $13.97 for this one roll. And I look down here and it looks identical, Reynolds wrap, at $13.97. And I'm like, why are they putting it in two spaces? The same thing. But I looked close because one of them said 200 square feet and the other one said 120. If you looked at the cost per 100 square foot, one cost you $11 a square foot, the other one cost you $6. Now you're looking at these two things and they both look like the exact same box, except real small is the square footage. And what it is they're hoping that you don't pay attention and that you grab the one that's $13.97, that's the smaller freaking roll, because they're selling it for twice as much as the one that looks identical to them. They play all these games to screw us. They are literally taking us upside down, shaking us out, and taking every single penny from us. This is crazy. How is it now I've got to turn around if I want to watch the Cowboys, unless they happen to, over the weekend, reach a deal?
They ain't going to do that.
To me, if you want to be honest, I can guarantee you that Disney said, hey, the Dallas Cowboys play on Monday night, and there's all of those Cowboy fans that are going to want to watch it. The best thing we can do is let's pull the coverage off ESPN, and let's just wait, because we can make more money by doing that. This is crazy.
And they got 2 weeks.
This is insane.
Back-to-back Monday night games.
Right. And this is, oh, God.
AWW's getting the same way, too.
What is?
Wrestling's getting the same way, too.
It's on ESPN, too, isn't it now?
And you have to have Peacock.
This is insane, guys.
And you have to have Netflix, unless you have VPN. It's about the same with the VPN.
Okay. So you get this. Now, I don't know about you guys. I don't know how deep your pockets are. But when I know
$35.99 is what
35 look
for
30
1 month.
Just so I can watch the freaking Cowboys, which are unwatchable. Is that what you're really telling me?
They're better than the Dolphins with their bags.
I'd
rather watch the Cowboys than the Dolphins, because that was atrocious last night how they played.
And see, this is what really pisses me off. I apologize, man. I'm sorry. I am literally melting down like I did on the Dan Saleo show. But this is freaking ridiculous, man. So, Greg, let me explain it again. As of today, if you have YouTube TV, if that is your your internet provider, YouTube TV and Disney can't reach an agreement. And so Disney, which is also ESPN, has pulled everything off of YouTube. YouTube, which has become the direct partner of the NFL with the Sunday Ticket. And, of course, all the content that is now going. Here's the thing with YouTube
now,
TV.
The other thing, too, is Sunday Ticket's not affected.
Well, Sunday Ticket's not affected.
Unless it's the local game.
You just won't see anything
Local.
ESPN.
No, local.
So, right, unless it's local.
Yeah,
But, yeah, so if you live in Dallas, you're good.
No.
What? You're good for the Cowboys game.
Or does it come on local?
It's supposed to be on local channels.
I thought it was on ESPN.
I don't know. I all I know is this.
I think it's only Thursday night games.
All I know is this is bullshit. At a time where everything is going through the roof, that we can't even, and I'm going to be real with you too, because I think about my father, who has forever been a Dallas Cowboy fan, who was watching football before it was, what it is today. That in his waning years, being on a fixed income, he couldn't afford to have, or was technology savvy enough to have all of these different apps. The reality is now, if you really want to be able to watch any game on television, you're spending about $1,500. I want you to understand that. Between having all of these apps.
That's someone's rent for a month.
Well, that's what you're spending in a year.
Basically, someone's rent.
Between Paramount, Peacock, Amazon, Netflix, Sunday Ticket with, YouTube TV, because you got to have YouTube TV to get Sunday Ticket.
That's the only one that makes sense is the YouTube TV.
And ESPN. And I want you to understand what you're facing in 2029, when they tear up the television contract, everything will go to streaming. And what makes it even worse, as you go to the store and you look at hamburger costing $5.99 a pound, and you look at this and say, how am I going to put food on the table for my family? And now your escape at home just went up. And then you hear Jerry Jones bloviating about, this is $100 billion business here, okay, worth, and it's payday. And I don't have time to be I'm on the phone with you because I don't have time to fix the defense. That football and the Dallas Cowboys are just a hobby, while he's getting paid billions of dollars and not putting a watchable product on the field.
And why can't we beat the Colts? At least our owner is actually putting in work on that sideline. And they got Daniel Jones actually winning games.
That's why you need to go to a digital antenna. I don't think ESPN is on. Here's the thing. ESPN isn't on a digital antenna.
Not anymore.
Yeah. It's not. So you're literally held hostage now by the freaking NFL.
And this is only 3 or 4 months out of the year.
Right. And so
you paying your rent payment for only 4 months out of the year.
So let me see if I get this straight.
If you want to watch all the games.
Because I can tell you what happens with me. I ended up getting Peacock because of the Eagles game last year. That was the season opener against Green Bay.
I used to watch it until the wrestling went to ESPN.
Okay,
for their main show.
But originally it was $7.99, and then they bumped it up to $13.99 on there. I don't even know I don't even know where it is. Where the app is on the TV, because I don't watch it. I don't even know what the icon looks like on it. And automatically every month, it's gone.
We should cancel it after the football season.
So I've lost interest as a fan that last few years. Momo, what's going on, Momo? How are you doing? Dirty Sanchez. That doesn't make me gay. You just wanted. What does it make you? I think it makes you okay. I don't know what the gay. Dirty is tongue-tied. Still has shit in his mouth. Okay. We all need to go get a digital antenna. That won't work as far as. I mean, that would get local games, but the Cowboys aren't. I mean, that's Monday Night Football.
Yeah, Monday Night Football.
That's.
They got us 2 times this month.
At a time when everything is going through the roof, people use football to get away from all the madness, and they put bullshit like this. Geez, that's what I'm saying, man. This is crazy. Philly D knows I have a 12. Okay, all right. I'm not getting into Dirty Sanchez's 12 inches, but appreciate the super chat.
Pay over $100
all right.
to watch the Monday night games to the end of the season. Because and
as soon as you pay for a month, they'll. What I'm telling you is going to happen. What I'm telling you is going to happen is it will be Tuesday. They will get it rectified because all of us Cowboy fans will go out there because we want to watch the game.
It'll probably be after the bye.
Well,
I mean, either way, they got your money. If you
Bingo. Mark got another super chat. Okay. I'm just,
that's Disney. Though.
Here's the thing that bothers me is it used to be, I'm old enough to understand that it used to be if you worked hard, you could make a decent living, you could take care of your kids and things, and get them to college, maybe buy a house and do these things. And now you look at this, I don't know what hope a young person has of being able to own a home. At this point, I don't know what most people have hope in being able to put food on the table. I'm going to give you an analogy. I'm sorry, this isn't football right now. But let's see, I was 16, so what was that? 44 years ago, I made $3.35 an hour working at McDonald's, which doesn't sound like much until you start thinking about a quarter pounder was only like 89 cents. Okay, so, and a gallon of gas is about $1.10. So for that hour that I worked, I could put a gallon of gas in my tank and I could eat 3 quarter pounders. Not too bad, right? Now, most places, I mean, the minimum wage is $7.50, I think, right now. But most places, if you're working fast food, you're getting $10. Okay, I think a quarter pounder is like $7 now. So I used to could get 3 and a gallon of gas. Now you're getting 1 and a gallon of gas. So everything is costing more now than what it did when I was there, even though I was making less. So how are you supposed to get ahead? How are you supposed to get ahead? So hearing Jerry Jones talking about, I'm here, because I'm trying to, it's payday. A rich bastard that is rich because of you, me, and all of us that are paying through the nose for stupid shit like ESPN and their bullshit doesn't care about what he's putting on the field. What's up, Roland's Review? What's up, Holly Pierce? What's up, lovely ladies?
Oh, no, it'll be on ABC.
What's up, Mark?
Locally.
Way to hold your own against Philly 500. Dude's hate for Dak is hilarious to me because he gets real. If Cleveland had Dak at quarterback, they would be contenders. You are 100% right. Thank you very much on that, Jew. All right, so I'm going to try and woosah down, although this is probably not the way to woosah.
Either way.
What's that?
Unless you have, you might be able to watch it locally because it's on ABC. If you're in Dallas.
Okay. And what about?
Does help us. So
that's what I said. In Dallas, it should be on the local,
ABC,
right? In Dallas. It's a terrace mark. You have to wait until they go down. Cardinals fandom, it don't seem like they're going down anytime soon, bro. I keep hearing them go up more and more. I'm just looking and saying, damn. I literally just went to the regular grocery store because I needed to get the tinfoil and Halloween candy because the trick-or-treaters coming here, and I spent $90 with 2 bags. That's all I came out with was 2 bags, and it was $89. And now I come home, and now I find out I got to spend $35 just so I can watch the Cowboys game?
For 1 month.
For 1 month? Come on, man.
Or $360 if you want it for the 20.
Oh, come on, man. This is bullshit. All right, so I'm going to try and calm down here for a second because this is bullshit that I'm going to play for you. But it's Stephen Jones who actually does have some legitimate things to say. It will piss you off, but we do need to take this shit.
Jones joining us now in the G-Bag Nation. It's Stephen, how are you? Happy Halloween, sir.
Happy Halloween, guys. Trick or treat.
Trick or treat. It looked like a lot of the team was dressing up today. Are you in costume as we speak?
No, I'm not yet. I may dress up as something for my grandkids tonight. So get in the spirit a little bit.
I love that.
Is that more fun or scary?
I'll probably do one that's fun. Mine are probably too young for scary.
Stephen, I'm going to get this one out of the way, but obviously Jerry had a quote with the Wall Street Journal that upset fans this week about choosing the oil deal.
Walk it back.
Rather than spending time fixing the defense. I know Dak got asked about that. Troy was asked about it as well. He said that doesn't reflect well on the commitment to the football team. What were your thoughts on that and then the fans' reaction?
Yeah, I just, at the end of the day, I think it's taken out of context. I mean, I think what Jerry meant is he shouldn't be on a phone call. But, that, as we all know, you don't spend every waking minute on the phone with trades.
I thought player
time
acquisition was a 365-day-a-year job.
30 minutes a day, 2 times a week. And I think that was the point with the writer is he shouldn't be on a call talking to him about the interview. But as you know, that's part of Jerry's job. He does a lot of interviews, but, we're extensively working on, as we are today, trades and a lot of people in the mix in our organization that work through all that. But, I just think it was taken out of context if you're asking my opinion. I mean, no one's more dedicated to working and has a passion for the game, for the Cowboys than Jerry.
Stephen, I've been with you when and Jerry have asked me to make calls and help in that situation, and I always appreciate the experience of doing that. I'll ask you this, and I've kind of made a prediction. I think you guys want to trade. I do think you want to do something to help your team.
But people, of course, don't want to trade with you.
The rest of the league will allow you to do what you want to do. Is that a fair question? I mean, a fair observation from my part?
Yeah. Well, it takes 2 to trade,
right?
And so the trade, you don't ever want to trade for the sake of just saying, hey, we made a trade.
Right.
If we can find players that make us better and the deal's right, then, we're always up for that. Jerry's got that in his blood. He likes to trade. He likes to do deals. And but at the same time, we're not going to do a deal that's not in the best interest of our team. And but I will say this, there's certainly interesting things that are out there as we head down to the wire, and we'll be giving those every opportunity to look at and give them good going overs. As you just said, Brian, there's a lot of people involved that's why you have a pro personnel department that are talking to other pro personnel departments, and they find their way up through Will and myself and ultimately Jerry if we really want to, roll up our sleeves but, it involves the personnel department watching all the tape again, and they show the coaches, and they have to say, hey, here's where this guy can be an upgrade from what we already have. And then, obviously we're in those type of meetings if we all are on the same page that this makes us better.
Stephen, a couple of weeks ago, we always ask you about trades and adding players and stuff. And you said, hey, teams are in that point where they still feel like that they have a chance. Are we getting closer now to teams just saying, listen, we don't have a chance, or this is the best for us? We got to move on from this guy. Are you finding that the phones are being more receptive to you, or is it still kind of what you thought maybe a couple weeks ago when we first started these conversations with you?
There's always at the competition committee level that debate, and the debate is, should we let the trade deadline go deeper into the season?
Yes, sir.
At the same time, you don't want people, giving away players and changing, having it really affect in a bad way the competitive nature of what everybody's done to put together a team. So there's a fine line there that you draw. But I will say the best way to say it is, thought it was real interesting today. You got the Ravens, who are a good team, 1-5. They win one game, and everybody agrees they're a really good football team and are back in the mix.
Yeah.
And so, it's just, at the end of the day, it's, there's, I think,
we don't know. We don't know, Steven.
Teams that have one loss, and everybody else has two or more, and so it's tight. And but at the same time, I do think a player, each team looks at their own situation and makes a decision. Hey, should we go ahead and take the value, get a pick, or should we trade a player for a player, whatever that trade may be? But there's a lot of things that go into one, and that's why ultimately trades can be very difficult to make.
Steven, last week, difficult against the Broncos, those inside three. We've been talking about it all week on their defensive line and stuff. Arizona presents some challenges as well. Kind of felt like it was unfortunate Cooper Beebe didn't play for you last week. Any kind of update? I know we got him as a full participant. Is it trending in the right direction for him against this Arizona inside three?
Yeah, he was so close last week, and just made the decision it was in his best interest and long-term best interest not to play. But, at the end of the day, we fully expect him to go this week. Barring some setback, our normal Friday practice, which is a good practice.
So at least there's that good news.
And, that'll be the final telltale. But, barring something unforeseen, I expect Cooper to play for us.
Have you ever considered throwing the headset on, getting on the sidelines like the per se lady?
No, I don't think so. But, to each their own. I mean, I don't know what her role is, and so I shouldn't speak to it. But I do know my role, and it doesn't need to have a headset on it.
I would just love to see you tear into a referee one of these days, Steven.
You won't be seeing that.
Okay. Steven Jones with us on The Fan. Any other health updates? I know we all got nervous with Overshown yesterday leaving practice. How's he doing? Donovan Wilson, Diggs, etc.
Everything's trending in a great direction for us from a health standpoint. Dono, Hooker, obviously Overshown had a little thumb issue. And if it's your thumb, it's not a little thumb issue, I'm sure. If it were mine, I'd say that damn thing hurts.
Yeah.
But,
especially when it's shoved up your ass.
The top part of his thumb, and was able to get right back out to practice. And he's trending in a great direction to play against Vegas. And so is Rebel. He's really doing some good things out there. And obviously it'd be great to see him keep coming along, and it looks like he is, and it looks like there's a good chance you'll see him joining our roster for the Vegas game.
Steven, how difficult is that then? And you kind of you've been a little bit up and down defensively. You've had some struggles. How difficult though is it? I know how coaches are.
All right, I've had enough there. Okay, so I got Mike here, who's joined me here after my meltdown here. Linda, shout out to lovely Linda. Teams should be trading for depth at this point of time. It's going to be a rough winter. You've got to be ready moving into the playoff. Injury set in. That is if you are a team that has playoff aspirations and that you actually have quality starters. Unfortunately for the Cowboys, Linda, we have Kenneth Murray. Here's how bad. I just want to say how bad some of our moves and players are. And I hate to tell you this, everybody. I hate to tell you this, that Jerry and Steven Jones are not going to blame Matt Everfuss, because that's the guy they hired. They wanted to bring him in here. See, so they're going to say, well, at the end of the year, we got rid of Micah, but it was a great deal. for us because we got 2 number ones and we got Kenny Clark in the mix and stuff, and we won this trade. See, ultimately, that's what Jerry Jones wants to prove to everybody in the same way he wants to prove that he was smarter than Jimmy Johnson and the reason why the Cowboys ended up winning those Super Bowls. Okay? So what they're going to look at is they're going to say, well, Matt Eberflus, he's been a winner everywhere he's been as far as his defense. He just hasn't had the players here that he needs.
What do we call that what he did with the Bears?
As the head coach, but he still had a good defense. That's what they're going to look at. 1-800-BULL-JONES. That's a great way to put it. And so when you think about Kenneth Murray, who I have to say, I am sorry, people. But when I looked at his numbers, I said, well, Kenneth Murray, he had like 89 tackles last year. He was a team leader. That, this guy is not, this isn't a guy like Anthony, the linebacker we got, Anthony Barr, who was coming in with the ACL. I was like, this guy ended up season healthy. He's coming here. He's a team captain. He's a leader. That's a good one. And then you looked at a guy like Kyler Elam. This is a guy that was drafted in the first round, okay? Maybe he just didn't get a chance in Buffalo and didn't like the cold weather. And, maybe he's going to be good. But here it is. Kenneth Murray is the lowest rated linebacker in football. The lowest graded guy. And then you got Sam Williams, who, I got excited when I said, oh my God, look at this guy. He's 6'4". He's 260 pounds. He can run like a gazelle. He can run a 4.5. And to call him Randy Gregory Jr. is an insult to Randy Gregory. He makes the same boneheaded mistakes, and somehow he's got more snaps to defensive end than anybody else. So when you say, Linda, you should be, trading for depth, I just need some guys that can freaking play right now. I need some guys, literally, Marshawn Nealon, another second round. Look, if the Cowboys do one thing, just do one thing for me, okay? You know what that one thing is? Just trade the freaking second round pick. Just trade the second round pick. Because every single one of them stinks. Every one of our second round picks stink.
You could include Diggs with that too.
They moved Mark, have you seen they moved James Houston to third string this week? What are your thoughts on that stupid decision? Again, here's the thing. If you look at the grades, your best graded edge rushers and tackles are James Houston and Donovan Easy. But for some reason, Sam Williams, who's in the last year of his deal, and they better not re-sign him, and Marshawn Nealon have more plays than those guys. Clowney, now to his credit, his detriment, wasn't here for training camp and is still getting in shape. They're saying that they're going to play Donovan Easy, and they're going to play Clowney more. So maybe the James Houston he's going to go above. Where's your costume? You could have been Philly 500 for Halloween. Okay, you know what? I'm trying to be a happy Cowboy fan. That's what I am for Halloween, okay? Because that's something you can't be with the jackasses that we have running the organization.
Or YouTube and Disney bullshit.
Yeah, especially now that Disney is pulling the plug and holding, here's the thing. Here's the worst part about that thing. I hate to revisit that, though. You know what's going to happen. They're going to work out a deal. And it'll be us that's paying more money. It's not going to cost YouTube TV. It's not going to cost Disney. It's going to cost you and me.
If you want to watch the Monday night game, it's going to cost you.
No, overall. Guaranteed, because here's what happens. They get you, they're like crack dealers. They know once we get you hooked, we got you. They get you on, hey, man, just try and smoke a little of this crack here. You get that 10-second high, and you want it. And see, now you got YouTube TV. Well, you don't want to change. Is there another platform that does what YouTube TV does? I don't know. Is there?
Not for Sunday Ticket, no.
So
they're only game in town for Sunday Ticket.
So yeah. So what's the choice? I mean, I guess you go to those bootleg sites that'll hack your shit and steal all your money. But hell, that's what the NFL's doing anyway with YouTube TV. Have you seen they moved James? Okay, I already read that. We don't need bad crap about Dallas. Just have Mark open his mouth. Okay. Mark, where's your okay, I read that one too. Exactly. Here's your L, Philly D. You lost again because you're a low-down, dirty champ. I'm so tired of paying for these Amazon. Oh, my God. Steve, bro.
See, at least with no.
Don't get me started.
No. At least with Amazon, you get a discount on your shipping.
Yeah, but you know what? You saw that their shit went down. One of the data sites up here in Chantilly, went out. So I was sitting, it blew my mind because I needed a cable for my cell phone. And see, that's another one of those things they get you hooked on. They get you hooked on, oh, well, shit, I can just order here on Amazon. I'll be at my door the same day. And I was like, Tuesday, and I was like, everything was delivery for Friday. I'm like, what the fuck? Everything's Friday delivery. What happened? Oh, their shit went down. So, and a lot of times now, you order when you're sitting there looking at it and they'll say, delivery the next day. And then you check out, and then it turns out it's delivered 3 days later.
Oh, now they have the new thing. You want to deliver by this time?
It's paying extra.
You have to pay extra too.
Right, just like that. And the game, like last night, the only good thing about last night's game was it made you feel better as a Cowboy fan that at least we're not the Miami Dolphins.
Over their heads.
That was
one dude had a popcorn bucket over his head. He felt so bad.
It was just insane. How bad? And tell you what, let me do this. It was just so insane. Now, could you imagine? I'm old enough to remember when.
Are you talking about when the Saints had the bags?
No, I remember when people were telling me. I can remember. I'm not going to say his name because we think he's he might be FJ.
Talking about Tank for Two?
Tank for Two. Oh my God! Look, the Cowboys.
11
look, we need a real winner. We need Tua. 11 Tank for Tua.
No, 11 interceptions on the season.
Did you see his Tua's? Trying to get the guys pumped up. They're looking at him like, "What the fuck, dude?" No. He's literally up here, 4 hours of pain. We gonna go out there, and it's like 4 hours of pain. Yeah, right. It was painful for us to watch you for 4 hours, as bad as you guys were.
What made it worse was Tyreek Hill was happy to be injured.
Oh my God, that jackass! Oh my God. So could you imagine if that was our quarterback, who literally after the game? I could not believe this.
We never had bags on our head.
Well, no. Did you see the press conference? He was out there and he was saying on the fourth down that they couldn't communicate because of the crowd noise. Bro.
They were leaving at halftime.
No, bro. You were playing at home in an empty stadium.
They were leaving at halftime.
You were playing at home in an empty stadium.
With bags over their heads. Your fans had bags over their heads.
So, forgive me. I am literally just pissed off today. I'm pissed off, and I'm just kind of sick of all of this bullshit that we're getting in here. But I'm glad that I don't have Tua as my quarterback, okay? Or actually Trevor Lawrence either. By the way, they said
they're going down,
Fins, like with no spirit, yeah. Shotty's not having the stat conversation. Okay, so Sean Harris. Here's what I'm going to tell you. What Schottenheimer did was actually brilliant, okay? And you may not have understood this because in that conversation, what he did was he praised himself, patted himself on the back, didn't throw the Joneses under the bus, but made you understand that Matt Eberflus is the problem. See, when you say, well, you can take those stats and throw them throw them up your ass. He's acknowledging that our offense is fucking incredible. Okay, what we're doing, you can shove that up your ass. What we want to do is win. Well, why aren't we winning? Why aren't we winning, Mike? Why aren't we winning?
Our defense is
Matt Eberfluss. That's why we're not. We want to win. You can take those statistics and shove them up their ass because we just want to win. And then he was asked about Micah Parsons. Well, Micah Parsons is a great player, but, it's about more players. When you got guys that aren't in position and lining up and not knowing their assignments, and he says, it all starts with the linebackers, the guys with the green dots that are calling the plays out, and everybody needs to be in position. You have just basically wiped your hands of the problems. And see, what he did is the same thing that Mike McCarthy did. And maybe he learned that from Mike McCarthy, because when Kellen Moore was here, Kellen Moore was a fixture from the Joneses. And because the Joneses believed in him, he could not go through and trash that guy. He had to bide his time and wait for him to fall on his face. And when he did, I'm going to be the play caller. You notice how he would always say, hey, hey, Mike, you think you're going to take over for play calling? No, the installer is the guy that makes the play calls, and Kellen Moore does the installing. So in other words, look at him when it's fucked up on the offense. Now, that's not to say that he was any better, but he understood that if he ended up saying, I'm going to take the play calling, he becomes the guy to blame. And they would have said, well, we already had our guy here. Why are you taking it over? So here it is, knowing that he wanted Robert Saleh as his defensive coordinator. This is Jerry's guy. So you better not say nothing about Jerry's guy. You got to let Jerry's guy fall. Use that second for DeMario. Chris, I would say, I wouldn't mind using that second for a ham sandwich at this point, because, every year I get excited about who we get in the second round, whether it's been Tristan Hill, whether it's been Randy Gregory, whether it's been Jalen Smith, whether it's been Schoonmaker, whether it's been Marshawn Nealon or Sam Williams, only to be disappointed.
DeMarcus Lawrence probably.
But Demario Davis.
DeMarcus Lawrence probably been the only one that actually was good that we got in the second round.
Y'all try to make me cry, aren't you? You remember when DeMario was here, man?
And I wasn't supposed to have dinner with y'all that night either. And I ended up having dinner with y'all that night. It's on your YouTube channel.
But when people say, hey, we should trade for DeMario, see, this is one of those moves that the Cowboys, think about this for a second. Okay, think about this. Think about our draft history. It sucks on defense. You ain't lying, bro. See, here's the thing. When DeMario left the Jets in 2017, I think he signed like a 3-year, when he went to New Orleans. He signed like a 3-year, $30 million deal. And people said, oh, well, that's too expensive and things. That's why we like our draft picks. And so you took a number 1 pick and you got Leighton Vander Esch. Now, don't get it wrong. His first year, he was pretty good. But you drafted a guy who had an injury with his neck coming out of college. So you could look at that and say, Demario Davis has been playing 8 years for New Orleans and hasn't missed a game, and has been the heart and soul of that defense, and a community leader. Multiple Pro Bowler. Gets 100-plus tackles and about 5 sacks a year. Production like we have not seen any single year with any of our linebackers in that time. You've drafted Leighton Vander Esch. You brought in guys like Anthony Barr. You brought in guys like Kenneth Murray. And you start thinking about, the draft capital that you spent and the lack of production on the field. This is the problem where they don't value having good players. The same thing I said about Calais Campbell coming out of the Cardinals. He said he's too expensive. It's too expensive. Well, when you think about drafting somebody like Mozzie, right now, today, 38-year-old Calais Campbell is playing above and beyond what any single person is on the Dallas Cowboys defense. What if you had him? He's been like a Chris Jones. What would that have been worth to have on your defense? To have a guy like that to mentor, say, a Mozzie Smith, or instead, you're not drafting a Mozzie Smith. You're not drafting a Tristan Hill. You think about all of these draft picks that are littering the highway that haven't performed because you look at a guy and say it's too expensive. And see, here's the difference with the Eagles. The Eagles look at this and say, if there's a way we can get, and I don't know if the rumors were true or not because there's so many fake rumors and so much AI bullshit out there. But three number one. See, here's the way you look at it. No, here's how you look at it. You say, we're going to be in the late 20s, regardless of whether or not they go to the Super Bowl.
And Green Bay's going to probably be up
okay?
there too.
Right. Maybe you lose to Green Bay or the Rams, in the playoffs, but you're still going to be 28, 29. If you can add Myles Garrett to your mix for 3 years, do you think you're going to get somebody better than that at 28, 29, or 30? You don't. And they will work the cap numbers out so that way they'll stretch it out and kick it towards the end and try and make a couple of runs. Here it is. We got everybody out here saying, oh, well, the Cowboys, they can't afford to pay George Pickens. How is it that you finally, because think about the guys, we've traded for Jonathan Mingo. Okay, Mingo Dingo, because he's got a second-round grade. We had a second-round grade on him. We spent a fourth-round pick for him. We spent a third-round pick for Jalen Tolbert, okay? You spent a third-round pick trading for George Pickens, and now you say, we got the best combination of wide receivers in the NFL, and we don't want to pay him. We'll go ahead and trade that pick, and we'll just draft another guy that'll be just as good. The fuck are you doing? I'm seeing another one. Oh, the Cowboys should trade Brandon Aubrey because it'll be too expensive to sign.
Kickers don't make that much money.
I just don't know anymore, man.
Careers are good. They don't make that much per year.
We don't have the personnel, Mark, on defense. A lot of injuries. And I'm seeing people say, well, if you just trade Dak, we can fix our defense. Okay. All right. That'll do it.
And then who's the backup?
Henry Milton. Oh, because
Milton's going to take.
Well, you got some people like, well, man, did you see Milton when he came in relief and garbage time, man? Hey, he was slinging. He was threading the needle.
And he got the touchdown pass to Tolbert.
It's like I remember people saying that about Cooper Rush. That, oh my God, Cooper Rush, man, he's the answer. What's the odds with Dallas's next game? Here's the good news is Dallas at home versus on the road. They've averaged about 41 points a game at home.
That's Kyler Murray.
Right now, well, Kyler Murray, but here's the thing. Kyler Murray has a hurt foot. And he may not. They're saying they're going to try and start him, but he may not make it through the game.
If Kyler Murray is playing, we're not winning.
I don't know about that one. I think we can score more points with them. I think double moves will be important.
That the referees aren't going to be on their side.
Well, they might be, but they're going to be psyched up because it's the Cowboys.
Too. A former NFL player may be busted with the gambling scandal that they're having in the NBA.
Former? Okay. Well, former one. Who?
I don't know. They haven't released the name.
Okay. Well, former one. Okay. That he was betting when he was a football player?
Or that part of that ring.
Well, I can't say I blame him. Price of groceries and shit right now. You got to make some extra money somewhere. And Jay Smoove, you're 100% right. This is a must-win game for the Cowboys. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If they have any hopes of a postseason, you need to go into the bye week with some momentum and saying, hey, we're at 500.
Because the Ravens have
hope. Okay.
They got hope after they won last night.
But, AT&T playing there, we've had 3 games there, have all been victories. We've scored a lot of points there, and hopefully that'll be the case with this one. And so, with that being said, I apologize that tonight's show wasn't informative so much about the football game as it was me ranting about how football is literally just robbing us freaking blind, man. There's
no alternative.
Man, you don't know how much I don't want ESPN. I almost refuse to.
Well, then you refuse to watch the Cowboys game on Monday.
That's what pisses me off, man. Because ESPN was a godsend when it first came out, and now it's a freaking abomination. And to know that we're going to have to give them
and most of their shows you can watch
$35 just
most of their shows you can watch the clips on YouTube.
Right.
So, but
I'm telling you, this is all a setup between ESPN and YouTube TV to help them sell more subscriptions. That's all it is. That's all it is. All righty, good people. Don't forget, tomorrow we have our channel members live stream and 5 o'clock. Hope you guys join us. I'll be in different spirits. I'll get over this thing tonight. The way the Eagles need that game against the Giants, it almost feels like the same going against the Cardinals game. Well, we need this badly. We need this badly. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If we can't beat the Cardinals, then, there's no hope when you're going against Kansas City and the Eagles.
It seems like ESPN needs this that bad, too.
Well, yeah. I'm glad you're throwing my jokes right back at me as if I haven't said that before to try again. Time to put up the Christmas lights. Charmaine, you may be right. It might be time to just put up the Christmas lights. And you won't be able to afford anything to go into the tree, though, with the grocery store prices right now. All righty, good people. As always, I appreciate you. See you, Leo.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same.